So, after a year and a half, I've just, a few seconds ago, just did the last shot for the book. So I thought this might be a nice little chance just to record my final thoughts as I drive back home here in West Adams. And, if I wasn't such a misanthrope, I'd say something like, I came to photograph the treasures of the homes of West Adams, but I found out the real treasure is the people. But I'm not that socialized, so no, the real treasure is the homes. In fact, there's so many astonishing homes here. I said I just took the last shot, but I'm driving through an area I hadn't really explored, and I just found one amazing little block I've not noticed, and one of the incredible homes happens to be the haunted house for a TV show I'm watching right now, a horror TV show I'm watching. I've been watching the last few weeks, an incredible place, and it's like, oh, of course, it's West Adams. But if I want to think about, what this project was really about, or how it affected me, or what I discovered, what I realized, I talked about in the introduction how I turned the corner and I found these amazing places. But of course, the problem here is that my mind was so closed off as to what was possible and what was because of what I was expecting for the neighborhood, that these amazing homes had a double impact, an exaggerated impact, I could say. Well, exaggerated may not be quite the right word, because these homes are extraordinary. But it had an incredible impact because my mind was so closed off. You think about how you're younger, it makes sense that you'd want to explore the boundaries and do as much as possible. You could see if I was a pop evolutionist, I would say something like, well, it makes sense while you're young that you're going to push the boundaries as much as possible, to find out what works. You would advance yourself or advance the tribe, find out new ways of doing things, and then once you're found a series of strategies that works, you stick with that, right? And so you can see that as you get older, you atrophy. And I think that's what happened to me. My vision of the world had become so closed that I was doubly astonished, right? Doubly astonished when I found West Adams. I think that's my big takeaway from this project, is that discovering West Adams and photographing it for Untold LA made me realize how closed off I was and how necessary it is to be open to new experiences and have lifelong learning. And I hope that doesn't sound too pat, but that is my takeaway. And I hope that if you enjoyed this book, I hope that it possibly could have inspired you to seek out and discover what's around you that's extraordinary, or that you've missed because your own life you've become closed down or limited in some ways because of the routine of your age, or the routine that you've had to go through it. So I hope it can inspire you to find out what's going on in your area, find the extraordinary and the untold stories in your area. That's my hope. Anyway, for this volume, I'll leave you with that, and also with some photographs. So scratching the surface in this chapter, there's so many extraordinary places. I thought, let's include some other folks, some other homes that I didn't have time to get to. So I wanted to include those. You'll see later on in this chapter, there's some more photos of some extraordinary areas that I didn't have a chance to get to. So that's what I'm leaving you with, as I'm actually literally pulling in to my neighborhood here in West Adams. I hope you've enjoyed the book. I hope you've learned something. If you have any questions, or you have any sort of corrections, because again, you think about what I said about Wikipedia, how it tended towards accuracy over time. If you have anything that you notice, I've got a fact wrong or a date wrong, or you've got additional information, you may know, watching this, you may know a lot more about these homes than I do. If you have any additional information, just contact me. Contact at untouldla.com, or click on that interact button that you see in the introductory chapter. You could also follow the project on Twitter that way, and communicate and be part of the community on Facebook. And if you have enjoyed this volume, please do rate, recommend, or review it on iTunes or whatever platform you happen to be viewing it on. And on that note, I thank you so much for journeying with me, as you say, through these pages. Here we go, journeying with me. I've had a hoot. It's been a lot of fun, and I'll leave you with this. That it's been a great journey. Thanks for being on with me, and don't forget, of course, that the real treasure of West Adams is the people.